let's do some importing session data. I did a video about this, but I imported session data on a stereo drum track. So I wanted to show you how you could use importing session data to really quickly get your mix kind of set up about 80% of the way there. First thing you need is a session. I've got a session. I've got it pulled up on the screen. And I want you to notice that there's no sound except the click clack. So I'm playing my session. None of the outputs are routed. The colors are pretty different. They're default. Everything's blue over here. I do have some names. Let's import session data. I'm going to import the colors over. It's going to be organization. It's going to be plugins. Notice how there's no plugins here. We're going to import all that over and hopefully be about 80% of the way there in our mix where we can just start pulling up some faders. Okay, so shortcut, Shift Command I for import session data, or it's going to be under the file menu. So if I exit out of there, it's going to be file, import session data. You need to find a session that's similar. So I have a session here that I can grab from, and it's going to have a lot of the similar instruments. It's going to have about the same amount of vocalists. So it's going to work really well. So I'm going to open it up, and this is the dialog box that we get. I am going to hit the match tracks. So I'm going to match the tracks from my source, so that session I've already mixed, and I'm going to apply them to the session that I would like to mix. So the session that's on your screen right here. So the session that's on your screen is the destination. The source is the one you've already mixed. All right, but what about these other ones that didn't get anything? So what's nice is I can just kind of click and drag, let go, and provide new tracks because I want all this information to come over. So I'm going to do that really quick. And click on these. I will note that that is wrong, and sometimes Pro Tools will get it wrong. So drum gate is going to get a new track. Electric new track. The rest of them look correct. All right, the next thing, the main playlist option. I don't want to replace my playlist because I want to use the audio in this session. So I'm not going to click import. Under track data to import, this is important. And this what's nice about this is you can save presets, but also it will bring up the last settings that you've used. So I want to bring over my main output assignments, my plugin assignments, my plugin settings and automation. Those are like the main ones. I have a couple others checked here as well. The hardware insert, if you have hardware gear, this is helpful. Voice assignments, input assignments, sidechain, tracked active, state, track comments, track colors. That's going to be nice. Track view, mix and edit groups, also going to be nice. And you'll see them populate over here. Right now I have one for drums, but you'll see that populate and I'll have other groups. So I'm going to hit OK. First, I'm going to mention I'm not bringing over automation. This is a pain in the butt, but also probably more helpful. If you bring over the main volume, automation, and setting, what's nice is your session's going to be pretty much balanced. What's not nice is any automation you've built in from your previous session is going to come over. So it is easy just to delete that. But in my case, I'm dealing with a session that's about an hour long, and to go in and delete all of that, it's going to be easier for me to reset the balance and just take the plugins over. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. Really quick, I'm not going to import the tempo. I'm not going to import any of these right here, the markers and memory locations, because it's a new session and they would be in different places. So I am now going to hit OK. Perhaps, you know what, I should also mention apply SRC. This would be a sample rate conversion if I recorded my last session at a different sample rate, which I have not. The source sample rate is 48K. The destination, again, this session, 48K, so we're good. So I'm going to hit OK and then check out what happens here, which is pretty neat, I think. This is a little bit different than working with templates. Templates, you're dragging files in and you're dropping them. In this, it's populating a session, pre-existing settings from another session. All right, so now I have colors. So notice that now that I have colors, which is nice, I'm going to hit all and I'm just going to pop everything over to a waveform view. Okay, click off. All right, so which is nice. So I have my drums are colored green, the nameplates anyway. My effects are pink. This is nice. My vocals are blue. All right, so the outputs. So everything's been outputted to the right spot. It does take a little bit of organizing. So really quick, I'm going to organize this the way that makes sense to me. We were able to get a mix really started. So it's starting off in a good spot. And so we can go in and we can start balancing. Are some of the dynamics going to change? Sure. So are some of the compression levels going to change? Yep. That's interesting. So it didn't bring over like any of the vocals. It didn't bring over any of the sends. So let's just grab these vocals. So Shift Command I, forgot to bring those over. We'll go back into this and we'll hit match again. It'll be perfect this time. Everything's going to be the same. But under data to import, send volume automation and send and setting. Let's do send output assignments. Let's bring in the volume automation setting as well. So let's check that out and see if it populates. Yeah, so now we have our sends that are populating here that we forgot to bring over, or me. And these vocals, so I can, I have a background vocal group and I can quickly modify them. So this is who's in it right now. I think I'm missing Greta. Yeah, so add Greta to the group. Take KP out. She's a lead singer. Oh, who did I take out? Took the wrong person out. Take KP out. She's the lead singer. Put Raph back in. Cool. And now we have this. So I can turn the background. That's great. And then the settings came over for the reverbs and the different things we have going on here. So that's importing session data, and I really hope you found that helpful. You can see just how many different circumstances you could use it in. Arranging your session, importing over like some organizational things like colors, inputs, outputs, the sends that you've used, to really powerful things like all the dynamics, so compressors and EQs and all your channel settings. So, anything you've used on a session that was similar that you want to bring over to get you kickstarted on your next mix and hopefully take you about 80% of the way there. Now, I will say in typical songs that, between 3 and 5 minutes, bring over that automation and volume settings, because the settings are going to be great and it's really easy to erase any automation that you added. If you're doing these longer mix sessions like I was at 45 minutes, like this is a whole church service, then to me, it wasn't beneficial to bring over the automation. I will just reset the faders and get a good base for the mix and kind of work from there. So thank you for listening. I really do hope that you found that helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.